It's now time for Around Town on KWN Community TV Channel 7. The views and opinions on tonight's program are not necessarily those of the staff nor the management of KWN TV 7 and Dade County Broadcasting Incorporated. Now, let's go Around Town on KWN TV 7.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back to Around Town. Brand new year.
Yes, it is. It is. Brand new year. We have a brand new segment coming on the show today. It's called Citizen Spotlight.
I think folks are really going to like that.
I think they will too.
You know,
We're all about people here. We're all about our people. You know.
Yeah. But I got excited. I know that you're going to explain this, and there's going to be a different one every month or so.
And maybe it's just depending on how easy it is to get people to come on and want to be willing to tell their story.
Yeah, that's true. I know we're another guest you're going to have on the show coming up is from the Upper Sand Mountain Parish. They're going to be back to talk about. They have 3 different stores. It's called A Better Way. Mm-hmm. And they are in Henniger, Sylvania, and Rainsville. He's going to be on to talk about that coming up later on in the show, too.
I'm interested in that myself. I didn't know anything about it.
You will find they're a great bunch of folks. They do a great job for the Sand Mountain community, and they got some. Really, if you like those type of stores, which I know you do, mm-hmm. you'd enjoy going around and seeing those. But anyway, the minister is going to be on to talk about that.
Okay, and then we have one of our all-time regular favorites, which is Miss Marshanna Sharp. She's got a lot of stuff planned for the library this year. And, we bring Marshanna on quite often, but, she has got to be one of the busiest people.
Well, the library takes care of so many things now. They're, more than just place. Books are kind of like the 15th
secondary
thing that they do.
Yes.
Compared to what it was when you and I were growing up.
Right.
But they do so many things now. And not only does it, Dade County uses the library, but a lot of the people from North Alabama.
They do. And if you didn't know, if you're not familiar with the library, it's probably one of the best, well-kept secrets we have in Dade County because, our library a couple of years ago was one of the top 3 small hometown libraries in the United States. Not
in our category, we were in the top 3.
Yes, not the
cool.
state of Georgia, but the United States.
Right.
And our library director and our regional director actually went to
Colorado.
Denver,
yeah.
to receive the grant, which was a $10,000 grant.
I think Tim even went with her, didn't he? Or did you?
I don't think he did.
He didn't. He did?
Oh,
yeah, he did. I thought he did. I haven't talked with him. I'd find that. That would be a show. You could bring him on and tell him about going to Denver and looking up to the tall buildings. I think that'd be tickled.
But,
I'd watch.
But anyway, they went there. It was a grant funded by Bill and Melissa Gates.
Mm-hmm.
So our library actually received $10,000, and the famous Anderson Cooper presented it to them. And that's just really, really something to brag about.
It's great.
And Marshanna does so much over there to service the county.
And she's got another young lady that does a lot of activities and kind of coordinates. She's coming on too, I believe.
Okay, well that's great. She's going to tell us some things they've got going on for this coming year. I mean, it's just, when nothing else is going on, the library's booming.
Yeah, I heard that.
It really is. And then we have, like I said, our Citizen Spotlight. And I'll talk to you more about that later.
That'll be coming up. Right fast before we go to the first break, I did want to tell you about a promotion that we're going to be doing on the radio and the TV. That'll start here in about a week or so. You'll start hearing talk about it. We're going to be doing it here around Dade County with our local TV and radio. But we're also going to be doing it in Chattanooga with WFLI, AM and FM up there. It's going to be Share Your Heart with a Hero campaign. We're going to be kicking it off here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to be doing live remotes at area locations. But we're going to be asking you to buy boxes of heart-shaped chocolate candy, Valentine's. Mm-hmm. We're going to be collecting all of those, and then we're going to distribute them to all the fire, police, and EMS on Valentine's to let them to show our heart. that we really appreciate the jobs that they do. They don't always get in the best news coverage anymore, but we want to let them know that we really appreciate each and every job that they do. It's called Share Your Heart with a Hero.
I love that.
The Greater Chattanooga Guthrie's, Real Living Southern Realty, Mountain View Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and Ringgold, News 12, and WFLI are kind of partnering with KWIN, and then we're going to be setting up at different locations over the next several weeks and asking people to drop by there. And if they don't already have, boxes, then they can go into the store where we're at, buy them, and bring them back and give to us. We're hoping that we could collect 3,000 boxes, and I believe we're going to do a lot more than that. But then we want to make sure that all the police, fire, EMS get at least a heart from everybody.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Share Your Heart with a Hero. So we'll be talking a lot more about it.
Who had that idea?
Well, I tell you what, and you might remember it if you think about it. About 10 years ago, we did a similar type Share Your Heart with a Soldier campaign. It may have been maybe 15 years ago.
I do remember that, because when you first mentioned that came to my mind.
Right.
And I just assumed that's where you were going with that again.
We did that here when everything was really, we had a lot of soldiers in the community, and there was some folks that got involved with us here, and but now we just felt like it was time to be able to share our heart with the heroes in this community, and I mean in the Greater Chattanooga area. So I mean, we're going to be teaming up with WFLI in Chattanooga, KWIN here, the TV, and we hope to be able to. We got over 1,000 that we sent to the military when we did it here. So if we can do 1,000 just in Dade, imagine what we can do with all the Chattanooga area. News 12 is going to be a sponsor. They've come alongside with us. You're going to see some things on TV about it, and of course Guthrie's in the Greater Chattanooga area, Mountain View Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and Ringgold, and Real Living Southern Realty is going to kind of co-sponsor the event with us, so we're tickled.
Well, that's great.
So Share Your Heart with a Hero. It's going to be coming up. Monda's going to tell you a lot more about it and give you the locations. I would like to see, Monda, places like offices and different places kind of put on a little competition. Say, everybody grab your hearts and let's see how many hearts that we can get from, and then go bring it to the locations we're going to be at. Or call us and come pick them up, or whatever.
Yeah, but, and a way to do that is to get people really involved in that is maybe if you could go do a few remotes from those places if they collected several.
Yeah, well, that's true. We're open basically to anything, so we're excited. I mean, we hope to be able to distribute to fire, police, and EMS. We're going to need about 3,000, but if we get 4, we'll expand on out from Chattanooga and North Georgia. So, and North Alabama.
Hey, it could turn out to be like the Reese Across America. Well,
we definitely in this area here, North Alabama, Chattanooga, Tennessee Valley, North Georgia. We're pro EMS, pro fire department,
you
pro Club List,
we are.
Police department, back our military, and we just thought this would be good to share your heart with a hero. And we'll tell you more about it coming up.
Okay. All right, I guess we'll take our first break, and we'll be back with our first guest.
The Moore family name has built a legacy of trust, compassion, and peace of mind by standing with families during time of loss. Now in our 70th year, the Moore family commitment grows even stronger, from affordable, traditional services to cremation. Our experienced staff stands ready to follow through on you and your family's wishes. Since 1945, the Moore family of funeral homes, North Sand Mountain and Trenton, always dedicated to those we serve. When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Mr. Rooter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before work begins. We pump septics and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710.
Looking for a great way to change your look? You'll find the friendly professionals at A Classy Cut Salon ready to care for you. A Classy Cut Salon is in the Grove Shopping Center next to the Dollar General. We serve men and women of all ages at A Classy Cut Salon. Call 657-5607. That's 657-5607 for an appointment, or just walk right in for your next classy cut from A Classy Cut Salon in the Grove Shopping Center, Highway 11 North in Trenton.
When you or a loved one is facing a life-limiting illness, hospice care may be the answer. At Tapestry Hospice, the patient is the focus of our care. We are here to serve you and facilitate your wishes. Tapestry caregivers are concerned with managing your pain, keeping you in touch with your physician, and helping you make plans for the future. Hospice is life-affirming, and Tapestry Hospice can help you deal with all aspects of life, mind, body, and soul. Call Tapestry Hospice for more information. 706-383-8812. That's 706-383-8812. Tapestry Hospice. Redefining hope.
A small bank with big service. Citizens Bank and Trust, offering a wide range of services, including online banking. Pay your bills, manage your account anytime, 24 hours a day. Your account balance is only a phone call away as well at 657-1234. Or visit our convenient locations. Lookout Mountain, Georgia, Higdon, Alabama, on our main branch on Highway 11 in Trenton. Citizens Bank and Trust. 657-5678. A community bank that believes in the community. Citizens Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Paul Feinbaum, you tell it like it is.
This is the SEC. SEC.
Well, they ought to just play one more line, but whoever wins, the other team just have to get out. Don't even play football in the SEC no more.
You realize Alabama lost to Auburn last year, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I laid in bed 2 days.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons 3 to 7 on News Radio 1420 and 106.1 FM KWN and Chattanooga's News Talk 97.7 KWN.
I'm here with Pastor Woody, and you're located in Sylvania, or you're based in Sylvania.
That's correct. Our ministry center is in Sylvania.
And it's called Best Way?
No, the Upper Sand Mountain Parish.
Where did I get the Best Way?
The Better Way Shops.
Better Way Shops. Okay.
We have three of those. One in Henniger, one in Sylvania at the ministry center, one in Rainsville.
Okay, so these shops now, are they like, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they're what I would call high-end thrift stores. And we use that. Basically, our ministry impacts the lives of under-resourced people in a lot of ways. And one of the ways it does that is help people re-engage in employment. And so we can mentor and teach and engage and promote from within and teach management skills and mentor management skills as we promote people within. People that might have some difficulty finding work through the regular process, because sometimes people have a history and a past that scares people away from interviews. I'm not scared of that. I've been involved in those types of ministries for over a couple of decades, so we enjoy that, engaging with humanity, and our stores help us to do that. We also provide good product at a very, very low price.
So you have these three locations.
Those three stores.
Now, those three stores. Now, where do you get the merchandise from the
Donated.
stores? So it's all donated?
It is all donated.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We receive donations Monday through Saturday from 9 to 3 there at the ministry center, or if
where the ministry center is at Sylvania?
In Sylvania. We have a warehouse there where we do donation receipt, and then
of course you're tax deductible.
That's correct. Of course, yeah, we're under the umbrella of the United Methodist Church as a mission entity of the United Methodist Church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our full corporate name is the Upper Sand Mountain United Methodist Larger Parish Incorporated. But
I can't believe I've never heard of it. Except for I believe I sold you guys some flooring.
perhaps during the 2011 tornado rebuilds,
Yes.
we rebuilt a lot of properties and houses and homes and tried to help families. And primarily that's what we try to do. Our ministry area for emergency services, for instance, let's just talk about that for a minute. Monday through Thursday morning from 9 to 11, anyone that's living below the government standard of poverty level as far as income based can come to us for various ministry
Now, is this just Alabama?
services. Yes.
Just
our,
Alabama.
Our boundaries are for our particular area. Now, we are referral agents, people that might live outside our 1,000 square miles that I'll describe in just a minute. We will help them leverage resources somewhere else and help them know how to find them if they wind up coming to us for some reason through I serve in Jackson and DeKalb County in Alabama's Human Resource Councils, so leveraging resources is easier that way
Well, you
when we
kind
do
of
things
learn,
together.
it's kind of like birds of a feather
Who's got
flock
what?
together.
Who's got
Yeah.
what? And we want to be good stewards. It's all about stewardship, really.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be good stewards of our resources and what God's provided. So we don't want to set up redundant agencies all over the plateau. So basically from the northern boundary of Geraldine, Alabama, all the way to the Georgia line. If you come up Highway 75, you're splitting the parish right in half.
Oh yeah, we're so close to Alabama.
That's right. That's right.
I mean,
And this TV coverage and why I'm here is because
yes.
it goes into our area.
Oh yeah, we're in several counties
Absolutely.
in Alabama.
Absolutely.
So, so you have these stores now. Is this your primary source of income? Is these stores?
I would say that through these stores, the resources that bring in through these stores cover half of our needs.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I wouldn't have thought that it could have.
But you
done
have to be
that.
very, very efficient and very careful and very good stewards to make sure that that stays true. And then being in what we would call in our polity of the church an advanced special of the North Alabama Conference, we have mission partners all over. Not just Alabama, but other areas, and we have mission teams that come in. You talked about probably supplying flooring during the tornado rebuilds. Did you, and you probably are aware, but as tornadoes hit us, they also hit Trenton. A lot of time in that track,
My
right?
house was destroyed.
There you go. So 2017 was the first calendar year, that we didn't have a tornado event at the Upper Sand Mountain Parish within our plateau for 7 years.
Wow.
So we are constantly engaged in long-term recovery committee work, which I serve in both counties on that committee, and of course what we call the VOAD, Volunteer Organizations Active in Disaster. If the VOAD is activated by the local EMA in a non-declared event. 2011, there were huge tornadoes, huge events. They were declared. FEMA came on board, but LTRC is still working. We just finished
Now, what is LTRC?
the long-term recovery committee.
Okay.
Those LTRC is a long-term recovery committee, is active way after FEMA leaves. That's why, hence the name long-term.
Yes.
Think about Katrina. How many years ago was that? A lot of years, right? FEMA has come and gone in Katrina. There's a place in Slidell, Louisiana, a ministry called the Epworth Project. It's at
Slidell.
Aldersgate United Methodist Church, right there on the northern boundary of Lake Champlain, 30 minutes out of downtown New Orleans. 2 years ago, I was there visiting with a mission team that was coming here.
To Trenton?
To the Upper Sand Mountain Parish, when I say
okay.
here, but to this area. Actually, in the Rosalie tornado in 2016, November, a team came out of Slidell, Louisiana. A bunch of college kids came up, and these kids are like contractors because they grew up in the Katrina era. So they know how to rebuild. They put 15 windows in homes first day that they were here on the ground, and they came December 26th of 2016. But I was down there, and they still had 43 houses that they were working on from Katrina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by long-term recovery. And if you think about that, when it's no longer a news cycle event, the ministry goes on. And so we're deeply engaged in that.
Yes, I can appreciate that.
Primarily, and I know we have a very limited time, but if anyone that's listening or watching today would want to go online, just Upper Sand Mountain Parish, just add .com on the end of that, and we'll be the first thing that'll pop up on a Google search. And you can kind of glean from the website more of the layers of the onion that make up our ministry. But in a nutshell, the Reader's Digest version, if you can think of ways to impact generational poverty, which is really the mission. One of the reasons why we have a very large community of people living in poverty is it's generationally replicated through
Yes.
lack of education, through
yes.
ideology, blinders.
And have you noticed, I've tried to tell my kids this. You take a person and then they'll, they take their goals, their thoughts, their visions, their way of life, their bad habits, their good habits, and then when they have 2 or 3 kids, not only did they pass that on, but they duplicated it again and again and again.
We are products of our environment. Let's just admit it. So how can we change the environment? How can we impact a life to change the trajectory? It may be through employment. It may be through some other way of mentoring or teaching or training. We're working through public schools. As a matter of fact, right now, this afternoon, I say we're on Eastern time now. I came out of Central, so it might be in about 45 minutes. We have a group of 8 students coming from Ider High School to work actually and volunteer through the school program, what I call transition kids, people who are probably not targeted to go on to university level education, but need jobs when they graduate from high school. And so they can get hard skill and soft skill training through the Upper Sand Mountain Parish Cooperative, helping them. We do exercises like how to fill out applications, how to interview. I do mock interviews with the students in front of the other students, teaching them what it is I look for in an application and interview and how to sell themselves at that interview to maybe land that job, and how to fill out an application to make their application out of high school look better than the other applicants they're up against. And those kind of hard skill and soft skill trainings, repetitive work, a lot of the things that we do in sorting donations and working in the stores and setting up a retail environment, they'll be looking at doing for an employer.
And a real important part is learning to give back.
Yes.
If we all go through this
Sense of
world
servitude.
and we take more than we give, where would we all be?
Well, eventually the resources run out if that's what we do.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that, because it is a long-term thing. You can't take a kid that's been taught this for, 12, 15, 18 years and change it in a week.
In our Heart and Hand ministry, we target families, and this is a ministry that, and listen, Pastor Woody, I'm the megaphone today, but I was not the visionary that thought about this or God gave the revelation to. I'm certainly his minister now and for this present moment. But that ministry was started years ago, obviously, and to present, the parish has built 48 3-bedroom, 1-bath homes, and the bathrooms now, since 2011, are safe rooms in these 3-bedroom, 1-bath homes. We find families through an application process, through extensive months of screening, and then interviews in home where they're presently living, trying to find young families with little kids who we can change that trajectory again of their life by stabilizing their life with home ownership, through home ownership. And with our mission partners, we can build these homes and sell them. Literally, we're the mortgage holder, the landlord,
Yes.
with contract
You have to sell
with
them. You
us.
can't give them away.
No, and we sell the home interest-free for the cost of material that
You
it
are
costs
kidding.
to go. No, not kidding at all. And in 200 X number of payments, less than a 30-year mortgage, these young families become homeowners, and they're stable. And now think about that. If these kids are no longer transient, they're not changing from school to school to
Yes.
school, their potential to
They have that
receive the
safe haven
education,
they know they can come home to every day.
they have a chance at an education if they're willing to take it. They have a chance. And unfortunately, when you're living in deep poverty, trying to make ends meet and doing the best you can with the tools you have, sometimes those kids become transient and they fall behind in school. And if you fall behind in school, what's your potential? What's the trajectory of your
Your
life?
goal becomes, instead of going to college, your goal becomes
Survival.
Survival, and can't wait till I can quit. I see it all the time.
Yeah, sure we do. So how are we going to address that, and how are we going to minister that? And this is one of the ways. There's a lot of ministries doing a lot of things. One of my mantras is I talk a lot about the what, but it's all about the why. I don't want to do a single thing until God has clearly defined why we're going to do it. Before we invest a single resource, or what I like to call putting skin in the game or sweat equity, before I put out an ounce of sweat equity into something, I need to be clear on why we're called to do this. Because if the why is clear, then the what's become much clearer and much more passionate. about doing it.
And that's why they have to buy the home, even
Sure, of
though it's
course.
at cost. They have to have skin in the game.
Absolutely.
They
Ownership.
Have to, yes, they
Yeah.
have to appreciate that. Have
Yeah.
some, something they've put into it.
Absolutely. And you and I both know we deal with the public, we deal with humanity, and sometimes ministry is messy, especially when you're working with people who unfortunately have struggled in areas of their life. They're going to need mentoring, they're going to need patience, and they're going to need more work than you and I. And we're paying mortgages maybe, and I know I have one. My mortgage company knows they're going to get my mortgage payment. We mentor that and make sure that people are living up to their contract. And if they don't, then there's accountability for those choices. And that's consistent in life. And we have to be held accountable for our choices if we're going to change the trajectory of our life. So,
Boy, I needed to hear that, because I'm dealing with a situation like that in my life right now, where I'm trying to do that kind of that same thing, and it's so clear to me why you have to pay your house payment, you have to pay your property taxes.
sure.
You just simply have to do it.
There are certain things in our culture that we have to do, or we will face the consequences
And then it's
if
like,
we don't.
why do you not do it?
Yeah.
I mean, why can't you get that? Why can't you, Oh man, I know. Well, that's great.
I passed several stop signs and stoplights on the way here, and I could have chose to not agree with that sign or that light and do my own thing. But if I did that, there could have been deadly consequences for myself and others in my community around me. So we all have a choice.
I love that. I love that. And it's
So
called
many. The Upper Sand Mountain Parish.
Upper Sand Mountain Parish.
And believe it or not, and I know this is going to be hard for you to believe because we're so close neighbors, but it's amazing when you come off of one plateau, go through a valley to get to here. This year we celebrate 50 years of Miracles on the Mountain. It started in 1969.
See, I had no idea about this place. Now, you said it's the United Methodist.
United Methodist Church is...
So, are you affiliated with our Methodist Church here?
Yes, in a way, because we're all United Methodist, part of a worldwide
Exactly.
connectional church, but we are a different part of an annual conference.
Oh, okay.
This church
I know
is a
what you're
part of the
saying.
Holston Annual Conference,
Which
where
now
we're
they-
the North Alabama
Which now
Conference.
this Methodist Church does some great things like
Sure,
that too. They have,
sure.
I know of them setting up a home like for women, trying to help them get back on their feet.
Sure.
I mean, I can't say enough about this Methodist Church. I've known of them doing so many great things over the years.
A dear friend of mine, as a matter of fact, just came from a lunch meeting with him. You may know Dr. Will Garrett here in town.
Well, yes.
You don't know Will?
No, Will very well.
He was my first mentor in
Will's-
ministry.
Will's been one of my a dear friend of mine since he came here. I guess I would be one of his first friends.
And I'm looking forward to this was back in the 90s when I retired from the Navy and God called me into pastoral ministry, and in 98 I took my first church, and Will was my first mentor in ministry. So I was thrilled to find out that I was appointed closer to him.
Will's
now,
doing
and
great things. I guess he told you about
great
his Inspire
leadership
program.
things. Yes, and I'm looking forward to, I think I'm on the calendar in November of this year to come and speak.
Will's
at one of
been
those.
a wonderful asset to our community.
I'm so thrilled that he's here, thrilled for Trenton, Georgia, and I look forward. You talk about being connectional in the United Methodist Church here. If you're not United Methodist, it's hard to understand what connectional is. Being, say for instance, the Upper Sand Mountain Parish and a known United Methodist entity like UMCOR, which we love our acrostics in corporate world, don't we? United Methodist Committee on Relief. When there's a major disaster, one of the first people to show up is UMCOR. And this United Methodist Church, every United Methodist Church knows how to get in touch with those resources. We're the same way. If you have a need here in your community, I don't care whether you're a United Methodist Church or don't know God yet, because we're going to come in His name and bring what resources we can to relieve suffering. Period. That's what we are called to do, and that's we try to live true and faithful to that calling. And if we do, then we don't worry about the rest of the stuff. God will provide it.
There you go. Well, thank you very much, and we'll have you back on again.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I
And-
think later in the month we're scheduled to come again, and I've got two of my people that I had mentioned. Cindy Hawkins, who's my Director of Better Way Operations, and Beverly Wise, who's the manager of our stores, will be here to help peel back the layers of those onions.
And you know what? We may have people here that would like to donate to that. We used to have a little store like that went to the Tri-State Humane Society, and it closed. So, and I do know, because I'm across the street, I've had people come over and ask if I knew of somewhere. So, you know. One
of my friends, Wayne Cook, that pastored Sand Mountain United Methodist, and is Rising Fawn? Is that right? Rising Fawn. You know, he pastored both those churches at one point, and the Tri-State Food Bank came to our aid when our food bank truck broke down, had to go in the shop, and I needed to run to the food bank in Huntsville, and I borrowed Sand Mountain United Methodist truck. That's that again, being connectional, having resources that we can share in the body of Christ to relieve suffering. So.
Okay, so that's uppersandmountainparish.com.
Yes.
If you're interested.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take a quick break and be back with Miss Marshana Sharp.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Tennessee Valley Net, your local provider of fiber optic high-speed internet, TV with over 200 digital channels available, and phone service with lots of extras. Fiber optics from TVN is expanding to many areas. Call and see if TVN is available in your area. 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net today. Bundle and save on fiber optic high-speed internet, digital TV, and phone service, all from Tennessee Valley Net. 706-657-4367. Online at tvn.net. A time-tested financial institution equipped with the latest banking technology, the Bank of Dade, with mobile banking to fit your on-the-go lifestyle. Download our latest app today for your iPhone, Android, or tablet to bank on the go. Check your balance, pay bills, make deposits, and keep track of your account anytime and anywhere with the Bank of Dade's smartphone app. Make life easier by using today's most advanced banking technology to your advantage. Call us at 657-6842 or visit on the web at bankofdade.com. Your hometown bank since 1956, the Bank of Dade. Main office is on Highway 11 North in Trenton, and drive-thrus on Highway 11 North and Highway 136 West. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Gross Furniture in Trenton, Georgia, you get the savings, the selection, and the satisfaction of getting the furniture you deserve at the prices you want. Come in, relax, and take your time. Our staff can assist you with the entire process, from expert advice to professional delivery. That's because Gross Furniture is local and treats you with honesty. Just north of the Courthouse Square on Highway 11 in Trenton. Gross Furniture, the home furnishing store that offers you more.
Hey, that cold weather is coming, and it's never too early to get your winter supplies from Rising Fawn Hardware and Supply. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Everything you need to wrap pipes under the house. Winterize around the doors. Make sure your outside faucets are protected, and keep those drafts from coming through the windows. Get your supplies for fall and winter for the home and farm today. Rising Fawn Hardware and Supply. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Telephone 706-462-2071. Have lunch or dinner at Guthrie's, home of the original Golden Fried Chicken Finger and the best chicken finger sauce in the world. Guthrie's can help you plan your family's meals or get-togethers with bucket specials every Tuesday, those delicious wings on Wednesday, and platters every day of the week. Plus, get sweet tea by the gallon. Remember, Guthrie's has a party room for small gatherings, too. Guthrie's, Highway 136 West in Trenton, home of those Golden Fried Chicken Fingers and the best chicken finger sauce in the world.
Guthrie's, not fast food, good food fast.
We are back with Marshana Sharp, and then she's brought her little sidekick here, which is Faith McBriar, and she is over the children's program.
Yes, ma'am. I'm the youth education coordinator, which means I handle all the children's programming.
Okay, and you're here to tell us about a new program you have starting?
Yes, ma'am. We have prime time coming up from February 5th to March 12th. And it's a family program centered around reading. We're going to have a storyteller, and we're going to have some great discussion. We're going to have food and door prizes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really excited. It's for families with children ages 6 to 10. So if you're a family with a child age 6 to 10 and you're interested in some free food, some door prizes, and some fun storytelling, we're going to have that program going on for you.
Well, now, what is the goal of this program?
So the goal of the program is to help families learn storytelling for at home. We're going to model some great storytelling and some great discussion. We're going to teach you guys how to discuss things together as a family. We're going to discuss some humanities themes within literature, and it helps build the vocabulary, and it helps families learn to connect around reading.
And it improves.
Wow.
It will improve. It's shown that their grades improve after they've done this program. We had this program in the past, and we had one of the teachers come in and said one of the students that did this, her reading grade went up 1 whole point. Like she went from a C to a B because she took this program, and she started interacting at home with the parents.
You know, it's a shame, but we live in such a busy world, and we busy our lives up that parents, you know, for instance, I go to restaurants, and I notice the whole family sitting there on their phone, and it's so sad to me. It's so sad. And I started noticing this. It's been a couple of years ago or so, and so I have made a conscious effort with my grandchildren when we go somewhere to eat, or even if we're eating at home or whatever, I say, no electronics.
Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, if you've got to eat real fast so you can get back to it, then you just eat real fast. But you're not gonna sit here and play that phone or whatever, And then, which my daughter I think's noticed it too, because now they've limited them. Mm-hmm. And so after school they go to the office and they get to play while they're at the office. But then when they go home, there's no electronics.
No electronics, yeah. And you'll be surprised at how many children parents think they don't want books and stuff, but you'd be surprised at how many children enjoy sitting down and reading and
my little Lincoln loves to read. He absolutely loves it. And they got grounded from their electronics in December, and it shocked me at how they took up board games.
Yeah.
And they got grounded right before we went on a family vacation for a week. Remember when we all went to New York? They got grounded, so I'm like,
You're like, oh no, what are we going to do in the car?
What are we going to do when we need them to, what are we going to do? But my son-in-law went and bought them Uno and just different things. The reason I remember Uno is because it seemed like they really took up with Uno.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And it's great. And this is what's so ironic. I noticed a difference in their attitudes. Mm-hmm. Their attitude got so much better without those electronics. And I know that probably sounds crazy, but it was like their whole personality changed.
They're having to communicate. When they're doing the electronics, they're not actually communicating with a person. Mm-hmm. And you communicate different with a person than you communicate through electronics.
Well, isn't that true?
So...
Yeah, and when they're asking you something, you're wanting to get back to this, so it's just whatever.
Yeah, it's short, so they can get back.
What about that?
So it makes a difference.
So if we have people out there that would like to be a part of this program, how would they do that?
So they can contact the library phone number, or they can email me. My email is just fmcbrayer. It's McBrayer at chrl.org, or they can call.
Give me that. It's what now?
FMCBRAYER at gmail.com, or they can just give the library a call as well. Either way,
and it's called the Prime Time.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the third time we've gotten this grant to do this, but its space is limited, so please call and sign up to make sure you hold a space. It's 6 weeks.
On what days?
Tuesdays.
It'll be from 6 to 7:30. And we do feed everybody dinner. And the thing about it is you bring all your children. Even the ones that are 6 to 10 will be in the program. But if they're younger, we have a program for them. And if they're older, we have a program for them also. So it's for the entire family, the mothers, the dads, and all the children in the family. And we'll feed all of them.
Well, that's great. Good to see you, Faith.
Good to see you, too.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back with our Citizen Spotlight. You stay tuned now. You're going to be shocked at who it is.
Gigabit Internet residential service is now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber in Jackson and Marshall County. Residential gig service is now available for only $79.95. Call today to have your gig service installed at 256-437-5000. High-speed fiber residential gig internet service now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber. Business and commercial customers can get gig service too. Call for pricing 256-437-5000. Gig service from North Alabama Electric Co-op. 256-437-5000.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Get focused. Get hired.
Looking around your home thinking it may be time for a new look? Let Comfort Gallery in Kimball help you make perfect choices for every room in your home. Living room, bedroom, dining room suites from all the major furniture manufacturers. If we don't have what you need in the store, browse our full-color interactive kiosk to find exactly what you need. And don't forget a new mattress set. After all, sleeping well makes everything better. At Comfort Gallery, we offer free delivery and setup, 1 year free layaway, and 6 and 12 months same as cash. Comfort Gallery, 780 Main Street, 1 mile north of I-24, exit 152A in Kimball, Tennessee.
Come enjoy pizza for lunch or dinner in a family-friendly atmosphere at Stevie B's Pizza in Fort Payne. Enjoy the buffet and salad bar anytime or have a specialty pizza made to order. At Stevie B's, take advantage of 2 Stamp Tuesday for adult and senior buffets and Thirsty Thursdays when drinks are free after 4 p.m. Take out any medium pizza weekdays between 2 and 5 for just $4.49. And on the weekends, take out any 2 large pizzas just $14.99. Book your parties now by calling Stevie B's at 256-979-1234. Stevie B's Pizza, 2200 Galt Avenue North, Fort Payne. Delivering top quality primary health care locally. We are Northeast Alabama Health Services. With 7 locations, there's one near you. Scottsboro, Section, North Sand Mountain and Higdon, Skyline, Woodville, Fife, and Fort Payne. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and of course your private insurance. If you're unemployed, low income, or have a high copay or deductible, you may also qualify for a reduced rate office visit as low as $16. Ask about our free medication program, and ladies, you may qualify for a free or reduced rate mammogram. Dental referrals for our patients with tooth removal and fillings for only $15. Putting your health concerns first, we're Northeast Alabama Health Services. Cervical cancer screenings now available at Northeast Alabama Health Services.
Who guessed it'd be Rex Blevins?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Rex, when I decided to do this, I thought, well, I want my first one to be someone that was born and raised in Dade County. Mm-hmm. Now, not that everybody, I mean, if you're a citizen here, you're a citizen here.
Right.
But I just wanted to start out, I wanted it to be the old born and bred Dade County.
Born and raised here.
Dade County, and that really had a story to tell, mm-hmm. and I know that you do. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna show some pictures as we tell. Cody, do you have the picture of the man with the baby, or do you have to do them in a certain order?
That's okay.
Well, okay, Rex. Now you was born here when?
In 1941. I was born in New England on our farm, and lived there till we moved from there to the jail when I was in the 6th grade. And
you moved to the jail because your father became the sheriff.
Right. And we had, of course, we were working farm. We were self-sustained farm there. You know, we had cattle, hogs. It's in my book, by the way, if you'd like to get a copy of that. I'm going to try to have a book signing sometime maybe next month, and you can come by and get about my life in New England. But yeah, we just had a great life. We sort of like a commune. We ground our own meal, our own flour. You know, I've got pictures of that old meal.
Now, you had how many siblings?
I got 3 kids.
No, siblings.
Oh, sibling. I had 2 sisters. Betty and Linda.
Betty and Linda.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you all moved to the jail.
Right. Well, Betty did, and she was already married, but Linda and I moved to the jail with
when you was in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell us about living in the jail.
Well,
it was right up here on the square.
It's on the square, and my mother said that she said, "I'm not moving my kids up there to the jail."
because it was nasty and all that. But anyway, they put down new rugs and paint and everything, so we ended up moving up there. And I was going to North Dade School, and so that Christmas, before we moved up in 54, we moved to the jail. And then from 55, and then Dad ran again in 56, and he was sheriff for 17 years.
He was sheriff for 17 years?
17 years.
So you grew up there?
I grew up. Well, somebody asked me the other day if I was Mayberry RFD. You know, I said, nah, I don't think I was Mayberry. I was trying to figure out which is worse, being a sheriff's son or a preacher's son. You know, both of them, because I had to be goody-goody two-shoes and couldn't do nothing. I had to be real sneaky.
Well, now, when you lived in the jail, I love the story you tell about, you lived downstairs, right?
Right, and the jail was upstairs.
So when they would bring a prisoner in, they had to take the prisoner upstairs.
They did. They brought them in. They had an outside door that they brought them in on a porch, or they came into the dining room and they had a metal door there and set them down at the table and talked to them, and then put them up in jail. So,
what do you mean, sit them down and talk to them?
If they had investigating something, that's where they come.
In your house, your dining room table.
Yeah, and we'd walk through into the kitchen. They'd be sitting there with the prisoner talking to them. It was just normal to do that.
So, what if a person was handicapped and couldn't get up the steps?
Well, they usually carried them upstairs. They'd carry them upstairs, yeah.
So now you went to bed every night with the prisoners sleeping upstairs.
Right. And sometimes they'd get a bunch of drunks in there, and they'd be rattling the bars, flushing, busting pipes, stuff like that. And then I'd have to get up and go to school the next morning. So, well, we didn't have a phone down at New England, so we had to all dispatching, answer the phone. You know.
Wait a minute now. At the jail, you had to.
We did all that.
Now, when you say we, who's we?
My mom and me, and Linda, who was there.
Well, did y'all get paid to do that?
No, Mother didn't get paid for doing it. She cooked 3 meals a day. We all laid out the same pot.
For the inmates.
Inmates, and we all laid out the same pots. She cooked pinto beans, then we ate pinto beans, and they got pinto beans and cornbread.
And you tell the story about your mother hollering up there, wanting to know how.
Oh, we had a little trap door in the dining room, and she'd let that little trap door down and say, "How many's up there?" Because Daddy'd bring in, or the city or the county would bring in prisoners, and she'd say, "How many's up there?" And they'd say 10 or 12 or whatever, and then she'd fix breakfast for that number of people.
Well, did y'all ever get to go on vacation?
Not really. I mean, it was 7/24. You know.
Well, now, and you tell the story about him not having a deputy. It was just him.
Well, they did. They paid the deputy $250 a month. So somebody said, why don't you make Rex the deputy, and then you take that money and put it in on their bills, gas, whatever you need to put it on. And Lord, somebody thought he was giving us $1 million, you know, because I just signed that check and gave it to Dad, and he cashed it and used that money for whatever he needed it for, you know. But.
Well, of course they paid for their food, though, didn't they?
50 cents a meal. 50
really?
Cents. It was. I mean, it was. Dad had to buy his own car.
He had to buy his own police car?
His first car was a 53 Chevrolet. And.
Well, now, what did he do if he got in a chase? What did he do if he got somewhere and he needed some help?
He just called back and tell us to call the state troopers or whatever, or he'd call the state troopers from his car on the radio and tell them he was chasing somebody or he had somebody cornered or needed some help, and they'd just show up from Lafayette or wherever. That's where things were going on. It really was like Mayberry RFD. And we heard words up there that we didn't hear at the farm on the farm.
Okay, so let's move along then. Then you went to the service.
Right. Yeah, I went to service in 60. I was drafted in 63.
So you was drafted.
I was drafted. They changed it back to the draft. So I was drafted in 63, and I was in Texas working on the Astrodome. So they said, if you don't go back home, you'll have to go to training down in Louisiana or Fort Jackson over in South Carolina. So I chose to come home and go in the Army. So I caught the Greyhound bus in front of Aunt Other's flower shop
up here on the
and
corner.
Mother and them was all standing on the jail step. I said, I don't want any wailing and crying and gnashing of teeth when I get on that bus. I said, just a simple wave will be.
But they were wailing and crying.
Yeah, oh yeah, Mother was crying, and then I said, just a simple wave will do.
Okay, so you went to the Army.
Yeah.
And then you married when?
I married in 67 or 68.
To Jenny?
Jenny, well, can't even think of it. That's a brain lot. My mind is completely blank. But anyway, we had three lovely kids. And
now tell us what your kids' names are.
Craig, Lynn, and Amy.
Blevins. Craig, Lynn, and Amy Blevins.
Blevins, right.
Now, Craig's off in the Army, isn't he?
Well, he was in the Air Force for 25 years. He lives in Huntsville now. He just retired from the Air Force after 25 years.
Wow.
And I was in the Army for 3 years and stationed in D.C.
So you came back here. Was Jenny from here?
No, she was from Kankakee, Illinois.
Did you meet her there?
Hulse is her name.
So you met her there?
Yeah, she worked in our office, and there was one door, and she was a telephone operator for the Pentagon in the Army. So she did all the calls for the generals and all that stuff. And I used to sneak in over there and talk to them and get phone calls till the sergeant would come over and get me looking for me. I'd be next door over there talking to her.
So you married and brought her home.
Mm-hmm.
You raised your kids here.
Raised our kids here, yeah.
And you have how many grandkids?
I've got 6 grandkids and 3 great-grandkids. And then Jenny, when right before Amy started to school, she started at UTC and finished her degree, and she became a teacher for 30 years. So she graduated from UTC with a master's degree.
Oh, yeah. Most people would know her as Miss Blevins.
Yeah.
From the elementary school.
She was a good teacher.
Oh, she was an excellent teacher, I think so.
She didn't put up with any junk, anything. What she said, they rode. And we need more of that, really.
Yeah, we do.
I know she was at bus duty one day, and I just love this story. She had bus duty, and somebody threw something and hit some kid in the eye with it. And everybody got up to go get it. She said, sit down here. You're not going to get on the bus until you tell me who threw that. And about 10 of them stood up and said, he did it. So she cornered him, and the rest of the kids got on the bus, but she wasn't going to let them. She wasn't going to let them leave. But we met a lot of good people at the jail that we would have never known if. And a lot of sad stories. I got a lot of sad stories in my book that just tearjerkers, and it's that was just our lives living there in the jail. So it really was a lot of fun. Well, actually, when we didn't have an inside toilet when we left the farm. And we moved to the jail. We had an inside toilet.
You had an inside toilet, a telephone?
Telephone, and we thought we'd died and gone to heaven.
It didn't matter that the whole family had to work themselves to death, did it?
No. But one of us had to stay there all the time. And if I'm there, I didn't answer the phone. They came up and knocked on the door one day and said, Rex, there's smoke coming out of the upstairs. I thought, oh, well, what am I going to do? I couldn't find anybody to help me, so I unlocked the door, and they had a bullpen where a lot of prisoners stayed in that one room, And so I finally crawled up the steps and got the key in the bullpen lock and unlocked it, and they just ran out over me, going to the other side of the jail, trying to get it. I said, the next time y'all do this, I'm just going to let you burn up here. And so we got the mattress out. And somebody came up there and helped me move the mattress. It was burning. It was old cotton mattress. It just smoked.
But But none of the prisoners were really dangerous, were they?
Oh yeah, we had some in there that were really dangerous. People that kill people. And this one guy that I've got in the book about. He had beat his son to death with a crowbar. They were both drunk. And so the next day, it killed him. And so the next day, Daddy had to go up there and tell him what he did. And I can still hear that man screaming and crying. And he
didn't know
he didn't know he'd done it. And he eventually got out of prison and came back and eventually he committed suicide. It just drove him completely crazy, that he did like that. But we had some prisoners that were sort of dangerous, but we didn't think we was in any danger at all. We never did.
Well, now, and I love the story you tell about when the county tried to tear the jail down. and why they wanted to tear it down. Tell us about that.
Well, they were.
Now, it was located where the new jail is, or where the jail
Well, it
is
was
now?
across the street.
Oh, okay.
The magnolia tree, Daddy planted that magnolia tree when we were living in the jail, because all the other trees died. They had some kind of blight, and they'd all died. So Daddy planted that magnolia trees, and they was talking about taking it down. I said, I'm going to hug that tree. You're not going to take this tree down because it's got a lot of good memories. But anyway, they were talking about the high school and where they were going to build a new jail. They were afraid that the prisoners would be hollering out at the kids and cussing them and all that stuff. And so we were at a meeting that's talking about what to do about it, you know. And I said, well, let me tell you something. I said, most of the time when the kids are walking by the jail, they are screaming worse stuff than they do.
Worse stuff than
Yeah, I said, that's where the nasty stuff is coming from.
But I remembered you told the story about how they said they thought it was falling down.
Oh, yeah. They put, we had while we were living there, they had a sonic boom, and it jarred the building. It was that bad, a sonic boom. And so they had to put some rods, they had some rods put in it to hold it together. And then they wanted to tear it down, and Daddy wants them to tear it down every brick. We should have never let them tear that jail down.
Well, what was so funny is they said they thought it was going to fall down, and then they couldn't even get it tore down hardly.
Well, what they did, they built the bottom floor, then they took all the bullpen and set it on top of that and bolted it down. And so that was holding the whole building together, that top was. And when they thought they'd just throw a rod around it and jerk it down, but they had to take it down brick by brick.
Well, we have some pictures here that we're gonna look at. I want you to tell us.
I've got a lot more stories that I'm trying to write another book. So that's my mother. That's Maggie, and she ruled. She ruled the roost. I usually get out maybe 2 words before she'd slap my face and say, "You're lying." Yeah, and I went out one time and we'd been drinking a little bit, so I had to come back to the jail and had a knock on the door for her to let me in. And I'm gonna tell your dad. Go back that one. He was the sheriff here in 1856 to 1872, and that's my great grandpa.
So he was the sheriff too.
He was the sheriff, and Daddy was from 1955 to 1972, exactly 100 years later.
What about that?
Yeah, his name was Jonathan, and he died. They moved to Texas, and he died.
Okay, and then the next
picture? Next one is my dad's pawpaw. That's Big M. They called him Big M Blevins, and he married Jakey Smith's great aunt that just died. Jakey just died.
Yes.
And that's how we were. And that's the jail that we lived in.
Wow.
I loved that jail. It was just a great place to bring up the family.
Has a lot of memories on it.
I got a picture, and that's my dad holding Leanne when she was a year old. And that's me out in front of our old farmhouse.
Wow.
When I was a baby. Yeah, that one is sideways. But
now, if everybody can turn their head sideways.
Yeah, that is a picture of my dad in the first grade in 1911 at the New England school. That was the whole school at New England.
Oh, I'm sorry, those pictures were.
Well, that's okay. And that was where I was going to school when I quit the 6th grade. That's a Morganville school.
You quit school in the 6th grade?
No, I quit to move to Trenton.
Oh, okay.
I transferred to Trenton.
And then here's your book.
And that's my book, and that's the Hotel State of Dade.
Now, where was that located?
It's located in New England, past the Baptist Church.
Well, now, it's an awful big building.
It was. It was a 4-story, and I've got a key for room number 7 in the library wants to make copies of that and sell them as a souvenir, to raise money for the.
Oh, I think that'd be a great idea.
And she's got a picture of it. She used it in some kind of advertisement, that picture. But I've got the key room number 7. But it didn't last but 3 years.
Okay, and then this is Rex's book. It's called As I Recall, Memories from a Lifetime in Dade County. And so you have many, many stories.
Yeah, and you can order it through Amazon. You can get it through Amazon. Well, you got to have 3 things to have you got to be a heathen in school, which I was. I didn't go over and learn. I went to have a good time. Live in the jail for 17 years and have a family that's completely nuts. In my family. So it's just about our family and
Oh, and there's some great stories in here. Dex got me one for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
And there's some great stories in here and some good pictures too.
Yeah. And that picture in there, my dad is the first one they arrested, put in a new jail. They went down and cuffed him, the state troopers, police, and he was the first ones that they put in jail. Had him in the back seat, handcuffed, and drug him in jail. And it's just.
So people, you can get on Amazon and buy this book, or you can run Rex down.
And yeah. And I'm gonna try to get some books over there in February and have
as I recall.
Yeah.
Okay, Rex, you are our first Citizen Spotlight.
Well, thank you. Of course, you know I like to talk, so that is,
yeah.
Me and Monda's had some good words for each other. So we go way back too.
Okay, thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this segment of our very first Citizen Spotlight. And if you have someone you would like for us to spotlight, if you'll get a hold of us, we'll be happy to listen to their story and hopefully share it with the rest of the community.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
You've been watching Around Town on KWN Community TV Channel 7. The views and opinions on tonight's program are not necessarily those of staff nor the management of KWN Community TV Channel 7 and Dade County Broadcasting Incorporated. Join us every week for another edition of Around Town on KWN TV 7.